My dear friends, welcome again for this week's video. Today I have a very huge news related to Mightier Amp app, something that we have been waiting for a very long time, so be patient for just an additional couple of seconds. And welcome again. What I was speaking about is a very massive news. You have been watching many of my videos in the channel that are focused on the use, on the description of the additional functionalities of the extended possibilities provided by Mightier Amp, the app developed by Tuntori, one of our friends. If you have been browsing the Facebook group, you may already know what I'm gonna tell you, but the huge news is that finally, after years, after a lot of tries by Tuntori that have been working on this, we have the iOS version of the app. So this week has been released the version 1.0.0 of the app within the Apple App Store. It is more or less equivalent to the Android version 0.9.12, so the functionalities are about the same with minor differences. There are some little details to be checked due to the difference of the platform, in particular related to the Bluetooth connection and so on. But to celebrate this video will be done using the iOS version on my iPhone. So if you are following me, we will be focusing on the drums tab of this application using, as I said, the iOS version. But before starting, I would like to ask you an important thing to remember you, an important thing. In order to make the iOS version available onto the App Store, Tuntori needs to pay a subscription that is about $100 per year. That considering that the app is free and Tuntori told us that it will remain free forever, this is also spending some money for that. So please visit his GitHub website and consider donating something to him to support him in this activity. He's not selling the app, but at least we should help him in this, considering that he's spending his own money for providing something that we can have an advantage everybody. So please follow me. We're gonna start. In the first place, I'm gonna show you the screen on my iPhone. You should see it on the left-hand side of the screen now. So you see that I have a lot of apps, so don't focus on them, but I can open Mightier Amp. It is already available. If we go in the settings, you can see the version number 1.0.0 in the bottom right corner. So first things first, we need to pair the NUX Mighty device in order to make it visible for our smartphone and for our Mightier Amp. So the first step to take is turning on the device. Just an important warning. What I will be showing you is valid for any device supported by Mightier Amp. I will be showing it you with my faithful NUX Mighty Air, but if you have a NUX Mighty Plug Pro, even Mighty Space should work. So don't worry about that. If it is one of the devices listed within Mightier Amp, it can work for this configuration, because what I'm gonna show you is very general. So the only request is that the device is supported. So of course we will need to have NUX Mighty Plug, Mighty Air. So in the settings, I can. Okay, I need to go back. Give me a moment. Yeah. I need, you see the warning, please turn Bluetooth on, because it was turned off. So first thing first, let's turn on Bluetooth. Now we need to make the pairing. So let's go on. You see that an important thing to notice, NUX Mighty device, like the Mighty Air, have two different protocols for Bluetooth connection. One is Bluetooth MIDI, and the other one is the regular audio Bluetooth. These two are used for different purposes. NUX, the Mightier Amp application, is using the Air MIDI connection, the MIDI connection, sorry, the Bluetooth MIDI connection. Instead, if you want to use your device as a Bluetooth speaker, you need to pair it as a regular audio device. So how can we do it? We can do it here. You see that NUX Mighty MIDI is already connected. Didn't even ask to be paired because it's a standard protocol. Instead, in the list of other devices, you see NUX Mighty Air regular. If I push on it, it is possible to pair it. And now it is connected also as the regular Bluetooth. As I said, these two have different purposes. The first one is needed for playing songs from your smartphone to your speaker. Of course, if it is not you're not able to play something through Bluetooth, focus on this connection. This one must be activated and correctly connected. The other one, MIDI, is required for the communication between Mightier Amp application and the device. Of course, it's the same protocol used by the official Mighty Amp application. So it's not a change in that. So let me return back, open again. You see now that NUX Mighty Air has been already connected automatically, as we can imagine. If I disconnect it, I can push on it again and it is connecting again. So it is already connected. Look at the, I can show you that this is green. If I change the selection in the app, it is also changed on the device, so you can see that the controlling is working as expected. Of course, if I would play a song or something like that, you would hear it through the device. So this is important for the pairing. Of course, as I said, just focus on the two differences. If you cannot hear music through the speaker, focus on the standard Mighty, let me show you again, to the NUX Mighty Air, the clean one, the regular Bluetooth. If you are not able to connect from the app, focus on the NUX MIDI connection, that is the one used for this kind of connection. So quite easy, as you have seen, is almost flawless. There are no particular problems in activating this functionality, and of course we can have a lot of results without particular problem. We can select the presets and everything, activate the noise gate if we want to. So everything is working as expected, as it used to do in the Android version of the app. Now, what I would like to show you is also the connection of a MIDI pedal, in this case the M-Vave Chocolate I have been using in many videos, through the app to our NUX device. You may remember that I already created a tutorial when I could show you how to connect this pedal to the NUX device using directly MIDI commands that are read correctly by the system, using MIDI branch as a bridge for the communication of the two devices. The drawback, the huge disadvantage of that solution was that you had a lot of limitations. For example, for changing the channels, you needed to associate one MIDI command, so one step to each selection. It was not possible to have a button like go to the next one, go to the previous one, that is available within Mightier Amp, for example. It was also not possible to toggle effects, so to use the same command to turn on and off alternatively a functionality. It was only necessary. It was completely necessary to associate a different command for each activity we wanted to obtain. Of course, within the app, Tuntori made available a lot of additional functionalities, because of course it could create some combinations of commands and send the commands in sequence to the device, obtaining a lot of better results like those I have been describing. until the iOS version of the app was not available, that was not possible. The good news is that this version of the app also works for that purpose. It is possible to have also that advantage. That is why now I'm turning on the M-Vave Chocolate, so we can pair it as well. Just make sure the light is blinking. Return again to Bluetooth. Let's have a look at the devices that are correctly available. You see that at the bottom foot control appeared. So select foot control, okay, couple it, and now it appeared as connected. Now, you may remember from other video, we need to configure it using the CubeSuite application, so the official application for configuring this device. Let's press on it. It will show up, search nearby devices. You see it's in green. I can select it. Now I can select the modality I want to use. As you may remember, I like using Program Change B because in my opinion it has a lot of advantages. It can have one functionality per button, but then pressing two buttons together it's possible to move to another bank and so have additional groups of four commands that are all independent, and consider that you can have 128 banks, and this is really a huge thing. It is possible to associate every single command to this pedal. Of course, it's not immediate because you need maybe to change the bank, but according to what you are supposed to do, what you want to do, this is working. Okay, now an important note, this pedal is connecting through a MIDI protocol as well. There is a problem. If it is coupled, if it is paired to the smartphone, including your iPhone, because also in Android we have the same limitation. If it is included into your sorry, I changed it by chance. Okay, if you want to connect it instead to the Mightier Amp application, you need to detach it from the smartphone. Let me show you otherwise what is happening. If we go again in the settings area and press remote control, you see that here all the MIDI controlling or the human interface devices available connected to the smartphone are shown. If I press start scanning, you see there is a strange mess. In particular, you see that foot control Bluetooth is not cannot be enabled, and that is the one we want to configure. Even UX Mightier is appearing, making some confusion. This is due to the fact that now the pedal is connected through the regular Bluetooth of the smartphone. We need to disconnect it from there, so it's important to go here. Consider that we paired it to the smartphone just to configure it using the CubeSuite app. When you are finished with that functionality, it is already saved within this one, so you don't need to do it again. It's a one-shot configuration. So now you can completely remove it from the connection to the. So I can remove it completely. Now it has been detached by the smartphone, and you see that the light returned blinking. Now, if I go in Mightier Amp and press Start Scanning, there is a news. You see that at the bottom, foot control now appears with the Bluetooth symbol, not with the like a connection, USB connection that we had before. If I press it now, it will be connected directly from the app. You see that a gear symbol appeared, and that is something that we used to see also in the Android application of the app. If I press here, now I can configure it with all the details I would like to associate. So, for example, if I want to associate to previous channel the button A, I need to press it, and it is now PC00 because you may remember that this way is sending program change MIDI commands. Next channel can be associated to B, just pressing it. That's okay. We can associate, for example, previous preset in a category to button C, next preset in a category to button D. Okay, and then, as I mentioned, you see that when I press one of the buttons, the number here changes, so you know what is the message sent. PC 00, 01, 02, 03, 00, 01, 02, 03, so they are 4. If I press these two buttons again, that is button F, you see that I changed the list. So now A is 04, B is 05, C is 06, and so on. But first of all, let me show you one important thing, that it is working. You may remember that we associated, have a look also on the light, we associated previous channel, next channel to these buttons. If I press it, you can see that pressing it is changing the channel. Sorry, the light is turned off. So you can see that it changes both in the app and the light on the device, as we are expecting to. So this one is going backward, this one is going forward. Okay, we associated this to the change of the presets. I'm not showing you now because it's something that we have been using in the past. Of course, if I move to the next box, we didn't associate the button, so nothing is happening. But an important thing I would like to show you about, for example, this change of channel. If I now press the main button to the iPhone, so now the application is still open, but it is in the background, is not in foreground. And if I even turn off the screen on my smartphone, you cannot see it because it is not possible to show you, but you see that the screen is off. When I'm doubling my screen on the computer, you cannot see when the screen is turned off. But now you see that if I press the button, okay, sorry, here, let me keep it on. If I press the button, you see that the channel is changing as expected, forward and backward, even if the app is not in the foreground, and I can assure you that my smartphone was even turned off. So now, as I said, I would like to show you how to combine these possibilities, so the commands through the MIDI pedal, with the drums section in the app. So I'm going again to Mightier Amp and see what is possible to do. So first of all, let's go again to settings. Remote control, as you may remember, click again on the gear with foot control and focus on the drums hotkeys section. Here we are trying to configure every single button. So, what is start stop? This is a toggle for starting and stopping it. Let's associate it to button A, for example. That's okay. Let's skip volume for a moment, and we're gonna configure it in a second. Tempo -1, maybe button C, can it be? Okay. Tempo +1, D. Tempo -5 and +5. We need some additional. This is to start and stop. Here we can change the tempo by 1. Let's associate to tap tempo the second button, B, for example. And now we have the first 4 configuration. Then switch to the secondary selection. And now let's focus on tempo -5, for example, A. Okay. Tempo +5, B. Previous style of drums. You know that within the system, the device, there are already 8 combination of drums to be used as backing track, and you can switch between them. So I press here, for example, for the previous one. For the next style, let's press the D button that now is 07. And now, you may remember, we skipped volume. If I press volume, this is expected to be associated to an analogic input, not a digital one, so it's not okay to configure it to a button, but we can use the external expression pedal. So if I associate it here to it, we can do it like this. Okay? Don't worry about the value. The important thing is CC51 The rest is not important. So let's press OK. And now I can show you an example of that. So let's go to the drums tab, the third one in the slot. You may remember we need to return to the first list of slots. So I'm pressing these two together to press E to return to the starting bank. You may remember that button A was associated to start stop. If I press it, it is on. I'm confident you can hear it from my mic. It is tabbing, and you can also see that here it's blinking because now it's working. The tempo at the moment is associated to 120 beat per minute. You may remember that here we have a tap tempo. How is tap tempo working? We press the rhythm. For example, if I press it like this, it was so quick that is associated to 240 beat per minute. If I go slower, it's 119, so you just need to press twice. It measures the distance in time between the two clicks, and that is the period to be used to create the frequency of beats per minute. Of course, you may remember that we associated C and D to +1, -1. You see that this one increases, this one reduces the beats per minute. Okay? By the way, focus on the functionalities in this tab. Active, as you can see, is to turn it on and off. And you may remember, this way I can toggle it. Turn it on, turn it off. Then there is, if it is turned on, there are different styles, as we mentioned. And you can select, these are all built in within the system. Just the metronome or a pop background or something like that. There is also a volume that you can select. So what I'm gonna do now, let's go to the second. The volume is associated to the pedal. You see that when I move the pedal up and down, I can change the volume on the tap. 0, now you cannot hear it. Maximum, it was what you are expecting. Also, you may remember that we associated to the second bank of selections also different controls, like selecting +1, -5, -1, and the different styles. So if I press A, the tempo is reduced by 5. You can do it on your screen if you want, okay? So this is not something mandatory. You can control everything from the app directly. What the pedal is doing is sending commands to the app, and that way it is possible to obtain the changes without the need to change to press directly onto the screen. So this way I can increase by 5. You can hear the different frequency, or I can reduce it. Okay, let me turn off the background music. Okay, and now with these two buttons we could change the style. If I press 1, it moves to the next one, pop. I can do it on the screen, of course. I want metal. And also back. And we can turn it. To turn it back off, we need to go back to the other banks and turn it off. Of course, you can do it on your screen. Again, this is just a combination. This one is making it possible to use your foot to control something that otherwise need a touch on the screen. That is not so practical while playing the guitar. So it can be very interesting. Of course, Mightier Amp in this case is not adding strange or very huge differences, because the built-in drum is the style you will find are already in the system, so there are no particular additions. But the main one is this one, and that is why I wanted to combine these two possibilities: a focus on the drums tab, but also showing you how to control it through the pedal because I wanted to give you an overview on what can be done using this fantastic app that is finally eventually has been made available for iOS. Again, also this functionality is working if the app is in the background. So I can make it work anyway. Go on and change the style, change the volume. So everything is working even if the screen of your smartphone is off or even if the app is in background. So it is something that can really be a great addition, and I'm confident that many of you that has only iPads and iPhones that have been suffering because of missing these functionalities that all Android users could use a couple of years ago will be very happy about this. And again, I'm pushing you to support with some money, with a donation. Tuntori for this work, as I mentioned before, is paying for making it available within the Apple Pay Store. So, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video because, frankly speaking, it is important to me to have a feedback about this because I'm doing this in my spare time and I really welcome any feedback from you. If something was not so clear, please let me know. Any comment, even negative ones, are more than welcome because they make me improve and I can know that you are interested in what I'm making available in my channel. So thank you again for everybody for your watching. There are some polls in the channels for a question about the new functionalities, the updates that I will be make available in the future. So please give me a feedback also on that. Give me suggestion. They are more than welcome. Leave a like if you appreciate what I'm gonna do. In the meantime, I'm renewing to you the invitation for next week's video and enjoy what we have been seeing today. Bye bye.